Hey guys, it's Shane here from Tank Hunter Miniatures, and in today's video, I wanted to talk about the Leagues of Votann. Now, I was super excited when this came out. I was so waiting for Space Dwarfs. I always said as soon as Space Dwarfs come out, I'll sell everything else and I'll just collect them. They'll be my thing. But so they came out, and we didn't really hear much else from them. The only thing they got expanded was a couple of special hero characters, and they got their kill team set, which was neat. I have it, but that was it. And then we haven't heard anything else from them. There's been no novels about them. There's been no mention in really anything, any campaign books, nothing. So that's kind of disappointing. Their whole codex, everything, it feels half done. There isn't enough. There's enough hero units. That's what I will say. There's enough leaders to really fill out the roster, but aside from that, nothing else. It just all feels very incomplete, like we're waiting for a big second part of the codex. So I just wanted to run through a few things. So I had some ideas of what I wanted, and I'd love to hear what you guys think, what things you would like from the army, and we can go through it. So the first thing I think they really need added is another battle line unit. So currently they only have the Hearthkin Warriors, which is a long-range shooty kind of one. It's only got the 4-up save. They're good with the Stake the Claim ability, but I'd be more looking at, say, Hearthkin Defenders. Now this would be a close combat style unit that had a 3-up armor and like an energy shield. So it'd be more akin to, say, Iron Breakers, but with, you know, a technological edge, like you see in the Van Saar's energy shields. So give them that. So they'd have like a special ability where if they didn't shoot, because I imagine they had pistols, but you could move them up to a target and deploy those energy shields even bigger. And then things shooting through them would reduce the strength, the armor piercing, or the damage. And then you equip them with plasma hammers or plasma axes, something like that. But you'd have this Iron Breaker unit that's just there to defend the rest of it. I feel that would really go hand in hand with the shooting from the Warriors. You have Warriors and Defenders to complement each other. I think that would really work with sort of what they're going for. Because if you see them as, dwarves in space, that's how sort of the dwarves in fantasy would run. They'd have their ranged guys behind, their big line of heavily armored guys in the front. So right now we pretty much just have the range, so that's why we need the defenders. So next, what I really want to see is a full mole launcher squad. Now the mole grenade launcher has been a staple for squats. It was one of their unique things back in the old times, so it was really cool they brought it back. But the fact that they put it on the Slayers unit, the guys that are just supposed to be focused in melee, it was a really weird choice. I guess they did it so you had some more actions a squad could do if it wasn't in combat, but it just seems silly. So the Mole Launcher squad I think needs to be its own, say, 5-person squad that, is long range, can just sit behind something and shoot out of direct line of sight. I think that would be great. That would be a really cool thing to have. So the Mole Launcher squad needs to be its own thing. Now something I'd really like to see is basically the Betsy from Deep Rock Galactic. So this would be a big walking tank kind of thing. It could either be automated or have someone piloting it, but basically, it would get to a point, you could just put it on an objective and just burrow in, and it would just be a big long-range shooting sort of cannon that was mobile, and it just walked there, and it'd be used to Klingon asteroids floating out in space, so it could hold on and just grip to things. And then it'd have like a force field to sort of protect it, and I'd love it to have something like a shockwave generator, so it was drilling in and also making terrain difficult to walk through. So the closer you got to it, the harder it was to, say, charge it. So that would really help it defend, say, the back line. You could just park this guy down and he's just not going anywhere. I think that would be really cool. It'd be a better version of like the Fire Strike turret from Space Marines. I'd say take it off the Space Marines. They really don't need something like that, and just give it to the Votann, because we don't need to be ripping off each other's models. They can be their own separate things. Another idea I had, I'd really like something like a grab bastion. So sort of like the monolith, it'd just be a big floating stronghold type thing. Because if you see the artwork for the old Demiurge, which were confirmed, the Demiurge were the Votann, they have a very interesting sort of brutalist style for their Battlefleet Gothic models. So you just take one of those Battlefleet Gothic strongholds and you just make it smaller size, or, take that as your inspiration. So you could just deep strike that in, or just start it on the train and just slowly move up the board, and it would hold a lot of men in it, because that's what they really need, a big transport. Because you're going to be wanting to field a lot of dwarfs. I think that's really what the playstyle should be, just a lot of guys, a lot of tough guys that you can just move everywhere. And they are slow, but if you can deploy them good, then they're just going to hold, which is pretty much the playstyle for all dwarf fantasy games. That's always been the case, so they should definitely just lean into it. Now, what I think they might be getting, but I'm not sure, is like a full jump pack squad. Because we saw that in the Kill Team box set, there's the guy with the jump pack. So maybe we'll get like an Assault Marine style unit. But then again, that's the thing. Do we need it? Because we don't want to be copying the styles of other stuff. There's a lot of other armies that have jump pack guys. And it's just, can they be their own thing? Can Votann not have to play the same style? Because it's very much being like Votann are becoming the firstborn Marines. Like the old placement for Space Marines, like what their style used to be, is that supposed to be what Votann are? Which isn't a bad thing, it's just very uncreative. Like they definitely, it'd be cool, I just don't think it's necessary. The last one I had in mind, but I'm not sure if it really fits, is if they had like a big Dread Knight type unit. Like you take an Ironkin and you just make it really big, so it's sort of like a Rune Giant from Warhammer Fantasy, which I think would be cool, like a big Dread, miniature knight that's just a giant robot. But then I come to thinking, well, you sort of already have that with Tau. All Space Marines have these big things, and like you said, Imperial Knights. Like, maybe they'd stand out more if they didn't have this kind of unit. So, I'm not sure if they should have this big monster type unit, if they should just lean in to be full infantry, like Garda, and then have vehicles to back them up. So, it's very interesting which way we'll see them go, because it would fit either way, but I'm not sure which would be a much more interesting way and keep people engaged and keep Votann standing out in people's minds. So that's pretty much everything I could come up with for now. Like I said, it's hard to come up with these ideas that haven't already been done, that you're not just ripping off from a different army, because you would really like these guys to fit into the theme, and they are very interesting because it's space exploratory mixed with Warhammer Fantasy dwarfs. And I feel they're trying to fight against each other. They need to lean in to one direction. Which way are they going to go? But what I would really like is very much if it would lean into, being more embracing their dwarf heritage. So very much they like to stand still, just like to shoot from afar with their big things, and then the guys are just really hard to move. So I think that's where they'd really set in their place, sort of like a Death Guard type of way, sort of like a Necron, but yeah, more durable type of thing. But we'll wait and see. If you guys had any ideas where you'd like it to go, where you think it will, anything like that, definitely let me know. I definitely like to talk more about it, because I am really looking forward to more Votann units. I just feel they're just not handling it very well. They really need to put more into this. But, maybe we'll see soon. Maybe they'll surprise us all. But yeah, until then, I'll see you soon. Bye.